Now, into the ticket office of Disneyland.
Oh boy, let's do this.
Don't think the CIA is going to be trying to hack your second-gen iPod.
I didn't think so. There might have been a lot of illegal music on there. I wouldn't doubt it. But, I mean,
I would just replace all of my chairs with toilets and go on with my life.
Google has found a new way to piss me off.
iTunes is a constant source of embarrassment.
Every time I say it, it's going to suck even more.
Everyone's idiots.
I am the dog.
I can't do it anymore without laughing. I was going to do the whole thing.
Welcome, everyone, to the Calling All Platforms podcast. I am your host, Wes, and I'm here with Landen.
Hello.
And Caleb.
Hi.
We are here to talk all things tech this week. And games. Let's be real. Games and tech.
Yeah.
Which is fun. But we're going to get into the most exciting thing here at the beginning.
You start off with the best. 100%.
We start off with the best. Let me tell you, listener, I'm so excited to report on this. Microsoft Build 2026.
Here, I already have Caleb's thoughts here. Let me.
It was dumb.
There we go.
That pretty well sums it up. It was like literally like I joined the call for this podcast, listener, and like the first thing that Wes says is, "Do we need to talk about Build?"
I did. Do I have to? Okay.
I mean, to be fair, the majority of the stuff talked about, it proves to me that Microsoft is just going back to what they know they do well, and that is building stuff for businesses.
Yes,
like Microsoft is no longer a consumer-facing company, or at least not trying to be. I don't think they ever really were, but they're not trying to be anymore. They're definitely just reverting back to 2000s, 90s Microsoft, which is fine. They do well when it comes to making stuff for businesses. Now, the things that they are now making for businesses is hit or miss on whether actually it's going to be any good or not. But, they're at least going back to that.
They're focusing. They've decided to focus in on their core market, which, you think about like when Apple was at their worst, right? In the 90s, they were too spread. They were trying to do too much stuff. And Steve Jobs comes back in and focuses the company. And that's what Microsoft is doing. It's just like Landen said, that means no more consumer focused anything because, unlike Apple, they were never a consumer brand. Whereas Apple is all like, you know what? We need to focus in on what we were originally doing well, which was selling computers to like the people.
Yeah.
Right. That's what the Macintosh was a computer for the masses. And that's what the iMac was the internet for the masses. The iBook was Wi-Fi for the masses. Like, consumers. Microsoft has like never been that. They were always for businesses. And okay, more power to them. They're focusing, which hopefully means that as a Windows 11 user at work, my life will get better. Please.
Well, let's talk about that, shall we?
Don't hold your breath. Let's just say that.
Let's just say I was trying to figure out what would be the best way to wrap all this up. Not wrap it up, but say what that was focused. I said this probably centered on an agent-first vision for AI. This emphasizes shifting from their traditional software tools that users operate to autonomous agents, basically, that handle all the work, like strong focus on developer tools, AI agents, Windows enhancements, models, and infrastructure. So, listener, everything for enterprise, like we were just saying. Core themes we talked, like said, was the agent-first computing. The next is their intelligent. They kind of said, intelligence that's truly yours. Combining personal and organized context with world knowledge. Platforms like Microsoft Agent, platforms GitHub, and Microsoft Foundry.
Man,
fun little.
That's
things.
just a lovely buzzword salad that they've.
Did you like that? I actually put that together myself. Did I do good?
It was beautiful. It's beautiful.
I did it myself. I'm so happy. Mr. Writer that went to college for writing. Did I do good?
This is 100% human-made buzzword salad.
Yes. My favorite
part about this is that it's like you like listen to what they were saying at Build, you start looking at the features they're identifying here, and it's not like, yeah, like we were saying, none of this is for consumers. It's also not for the vast majority of their enterprise users, but the things that they're describing will enhance the efficiency of, and in a big way, render superfluous the jobs of a very specific group of people, colloquially referred to as middle management.
Yeah.
The people that sit between the actual folks that do work and the C-suite executives, whose pretty much entire existence in corporate positions is to generate reports based on what the people down below them are doing to feed up to their corporate overlords. Those people will be way more efficient at generating these spreadsheets and reports and stuff like that using these agents that Microsoft is describing, because that's kind of the only job these agents can do, is data collation and report generation.
Yep.
And if the AIs can do that, then one middle manager managing, running a whole bunch of agents can suddenly have way more underlings than they could have before and still do the exact same job. So who's going to lose their jobs over this, really? Not the developers, not the people on the ground floor. It's going to be middle management. And actually, this is the first time that anyone talking about AI agents made sense to me.
Yeah.
When they in Build, they stood up and basically were like, we're essentially going to render the position of middle management in white collar America fundamentally redundant. I was like, it kind of already was.
Yep.
Good job.
Yep.
You've automated the managers. Perfect.
Yep. Man.
So, anyways, good. Yeah. This is going to be fun. Everybody, I have a very strong suspicion that there's going to be a lot less push from corporate America to shove AI into all of their workflows after this than there was before. Just
I have a,
because before it was an amorphous buzzword that these managers didn't see as threatening at all. Now it's literally just them doing their job with no actual downsides, because it turns out they can do their job badly and the company still runs just fine. So replace them with an AI. Does it do the job poorly? Maybe. Does it matter? Turns out, not
Nope.
really.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I would be willing to bet it's going to do the job at least as well as the people are doing that job
Honestly,
right now.
yeah, probably. And it's like there's going to be somebody is listening and is going like, that's not all managers do. Listener, you're right. There's the direct supervisor level, right? Who is in charge of the human connection of making a team all work together, right? They exist to remove obstacles from people who actually do work in order for those people to get work done.
Mm-hmm.
That person will still exist. It's their bosses. Because the dude above them, all they do is manage a bunch of managers, and they just take what these managers are telling them, write reports, and feed them up the chain. There's several layers of that, and all of that can be replaced with these AI agents that Microsoft was touting. So it's going to be fun to see this corporate restructuring, because, they laid off a bunch of people. Oh, yeah, get rid of developers. We're going to replace them with AI because our developers are so much more efficient with AI. And then they've started hiring them all back because it turns out, no, actually, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
But now they can get rid of all the middle managers. So, okay.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. I mean, listener, that's it. That's what this is in a nutshell. I will say, if we want to add to and we'll put this to a vote, we'll come down here, we'll add this name that they decided to call their new model. They called it the Microsoft AI. So they just took Microsoft off and just did MAI. So it's now MAI model family. May.
I've heard people calling it which is probably worse, but
Yeah,
My or May,
well, see,
whichever.
that's also kind of dumb and a mispronunciation of how that word is spelled. Just speaking as a pedant.
Yes.
Yep. So I don't know if we want to put
Professionally.
that for worst tech name of the year on our thing there.
I feel like you could nominate that. I
All
think
right,
that
I'm gonna do this right now. I'm gonna put MAI. Man, I saw that and was like, oh, barf. So, listener, a couple more. I'll quickly go through some of these just quick major announcements. If you want to look more into it, you can take a look at Build, but some of these major announcements for the AI agents and platforms. They called it Microsoft Scout. This is the first quote-unquote autopilot, a personal, always-on agent integrated across Teams, Outlook, OneDrive, SharePoint, and more.
Sure.
You got the Work IQ APIs, which opens the intelligence layer for Microsoft 365 for emails, meetings, files, people, collaboration, patterns. Great. Microsoft Foundry matured as a production agent platform for building, developing, and governing agents. So agents for agents. So we're creating a whole middle management for. Anyway,
Exactly. No, this is to make it so that these CEOs can even get rid of the middle managers who are going to be running the teams of agents. Now they can have an AI run the teams of agents. And yeah, pretty soon they're going to turn around and be like, hey, automated CEO, here's your agent that just replaces your CEO and your COO, and the entire C-suite can be gotten rid of as well. And then it's like, oh, that actually sounds slightly utopian. I shouldn't get my hopes up.
Yeah.
But it would save companies so much money to not have to pay C-suite executives. Just saying.
Yeah. So if you want to, listener, you can take a look more at that. They had videos on everything for this. Going back to the worst naming, the May model family, they said that there's 7 new in-house models. They call it the May Thinking. First reasonable model for strong context window enterprise focus. Models for imaging, which is May Model 2.5 for transcription, voice, and encoding. Emphasis on cost efficiency, commercial licensing, and open AI dependency. Aeon 1.0 instruction and plan, which is a small language model for local on-device reasoning and planning for Windows. And Frontier tuning for domain for specific AI, health, partnership, and Mayo Clinic. So it's fun. That's a whole lot of gobbledygook, probably.
Yeah.
But, and then, of course, got to talk about the hardware and developer experience. Surface RTX Sparks Dev Box. This is the Microsoft partnering with NVIDIA.
Mm-hmm.
So with the Surface RTX. So it's a mini optimized Surface PC for AI development, leveraging NVIDIA collaboration. They said a lot of more words than that to say the same thing I just did. So.
Yeah. It's NVIDIA's new, desktop PC chip, which is, I just love it because they're talking about it. It's all like, oh man, this thing's going to go toe to toe with the M5, right? Like this is NVIDIA's new chip that's going to go toe to toe with the M5, specifically in efficiency. Okay, good. Yeah, efficiency. M5 is very efficient. This is definitely, battery life and low power usage and stuff like that. And on-device AI processing. That's the big thing that they really care about because the M5 is quite good at on-device AI processing. Really good at that. And so the whole NVIDIA chip and Microsoft's focus on it with putting it in Surface devices and that kind of thing that's what it's all about, is the AI processing, which is just another way of saying we don't care about you normal consumers. Like you people who actually just buy products to use yourself, who don't work for some giant corporation or something like that. We don't care about you. These devices are for the enterprise. They're for the giant corporations so that they can run these AI agents so that they can replace their middle managers with a little box sitting on a desk. That's what it's for. Because Apple, they talk about the fact that the M5 is really good at large language models and AI on-device processing and stuff like that. Their products are still largely made for consumers.
Yeah.
Or prosumers, right? But people who are buying the device themselves to use themselves. They're not an IT department farming the thing out to thousands of employees, And that was so clear, even with the hardware announcement, is just like, we're just, none of this is for consumers. So is the NVIDIA chip going to be a better gaming thing than like anything from Intel and AMD? Possibly. But are we ever going to really know that? Nah. Because they're selling it to enterprise users basically exclusively. And, okay.
Yeah. They did also talk about, quick notes here, Project Solara. Basically, it's just a vision for agent-first computing across devices and on OS approach to connect AI agents. So they had a bunch of looking like tablets, and I saw glasses and watches and all up in there. Obviously they're not real products. They were just saying, hey, we're making things for the show. Be like, hey, this could be an agent for this or this or this or that. So if you want to take a look at those things, you can. Also, they talk about I think it's called the Marana 2, the next gen quantum computing chip with significant performance improvements. So, you want more of that information? You can hop on there and take a look at it. He pulled it right out of his pocket, Mr. Satya, and shown all the cool. It was nice and shiny. Yes.
Did he point out that you have to submerge it in liquid nitrogen in order for it to even work?
You know what? It was near the end of the 2 hours, and I was just hoping it was going to end, so I didn't pay attention.
Every time somebody pulls out something, he's all like, you've seen quantum computers of the past, now check out this one. And I'm all like, they've always been about that size. Like, I'm sure that one has like double or triple the number of like quote unquote processing nodes on it as the old one. So like, yeah, impressive feat of engineering and physics that you've got going on there, but you still have to submerge it in liquid nitrogen or oxygen, even liquid oxygen, because quantum processors don't work unless they're like less than a couple of tenths above absolute zero.
Yeah.
Like, they have to be so freaking cold in order to do anything that it's not an efficient mode of computing. And really the only thing it's good for is like cracking encryption, I guess. I don't really know what's useful about quantum computing the way that we do it these days. Anyways, I love that. Every time somebody stands up on a stage, it is all like, yeah, quantum computing, look, I'm holding it right here. It's this massive breakthrough. Just ignore the fact that when we deploy it, we have to build an entire building around it in order to get it to work.
It gets its own swimming pool.
It's literally.
And that, listener, was a quick wrap-up of Build 2026. If you are interested more, you can hop on YouTube. They've got all sorts of videos.
If you are in a corporate IT department, then knock yourself out.
Yes. But we're going to go ahead and move on.
First off, I actually wanted to say something. Like, there was one thing I thought, this is also definitely enterprise related, and it wasn't something they announced as for sale, but something that they're working on, because that's build. It's literally building things for the future. They're not building anything for now. But it was like a little, like, the way they showed it was a little badge that people can wear at work. Businesses already have these type of things. Like, I've got one at my work. It gets me in the building. It can get me to different areas of the building that you just type a little badge on the wall or whatever, it gets you in the door. But they can these badges had little, basically AI kind of built into it. And they also had little, like, you could put cameras in it, I guess they were saying. And
you remember that, yeah.
Like, some of the stuff they were talking about that theoretically could be done with these things, I think, again, for enterprise, I don't hate the idea behind them. It's just, I'm kind of to the point, it's like, and Google does this a lot too. Stop talking about things that you think might be able to work in the future, like 5 years down the road, and then never talk about it again, because I don't know, it's weird. Like, yeah, it's a cool idea, but wait till you actually have something to give us.
I just feel like that in particular sounds like somebody writing for the next Mission Impossible movie, not like they're just like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if, or wouldn't it, like, I could use this plot point in my script or something like that. Like, I think those are the folks that are going to benefit from this kind of talk.
That's fair. You know,
Yeah.
Hollywood writers really need to be paying attention to these tech keynotes.
There you go.
Listen, I think they are. We've gone a long way from the days of what was it like? Fetching Special Victims Unit, or
As Law and Order SVU.
Was it Law and Order, or was it one of the CSIs? I'm trying to remember. One of those shows where the quote unquote computer expert like looks at a computer and is like, oh no, we're being hacked right now, and just starts typing on the keyboard. And then another computer expert walks in and is all like, oh, they're too fast, and just jumps in next to them on the same keyboard. And they're just sitting there, both of them banging on the same keyboard at the same time. And I'm just like, that's not how computers work. Like, so whoever wrote this screenplay did so on a typewriter, because they clearly do not know what's going on. So we've moved a long way past that. I think that they have been paying at least some attention.
That's pretty funny. That's hilarious.
That's such, oh man. Like, listen, go back to early 2000s, like, you know, the crime shows, right? The crime dramas and stuff like that. And like, watch how they treat computers in those. It's the funniest thing.
You're not wrong. Those are pretty hilarious. All right. Well, that was Microsoft Build 2026. We're going to move on to other events. Listener, you've probably been hearing that there's been some gaming news. So we're going to start off with these showcases here. We got 3 of them we're going to talk about. We'll start with Sony's State of Play 2026. What do you think there, Caleb? What games do you want to talk about from that?
I mean, I just want to get out in front. The biggest amount of news and the biggest amount of conversation around State of Play was the God of War announcement. And listener, God of War as a franchise exists in 2 completely different camps. On the one hand, you have the original God of War games that are basically just, man is too angry to die. Okay. And on the other hand, you have the second, like the God of War, it's sequels, right? It's not a reboot or anything. It is a direct follow-on from the other God of War games, but it's a much older Kratos and a much, you know, a different kind of vibe to it. And that's essentially just, man is grieving too much to die. I don't know. It's a very different vibe to it. And a lot of people that didn't like, or that did like the first God of War games, had a hard time with the newer ones. And a lot of people that didn't like the older ones had a much easier time with the newer ones. It's a matter of taste. Okay. Personally, I I've played a little bit of the whatever the remake, 2017, I think it was, God of War, on PlayStation 4. And I really should play more of it. I stopped because I wasn't necessarily gelling with the action, but I love the character work that they were doing, loved the storyline that they were going for. Feels like a really solid single player game for me. I've seen and read quite a bit about God of War Ragnarok. Really like that as well. Really like the direction they're going with that. And honestly, I prefer Norse mythology to Greek mythology. So the fact that it's Norse gods that are getting killed instead of Greek gods is more up my lane, just generally speaking. So they announced God of War Laufe, which is basically a spin-off, right? It's not technically a mainline God of War game because Kratos isn't the main character. It's following his late wife from the God of War remakes, who, Atreus's mom, I think. Is that his name? I can't.
Yeah, Atreus. Yep.
The kid. Boy's mom.
Yep.
So it's a spinoff, and they announced it, showed like 20 minutes, like it seems like probably the first 20 minutes of gameplay as a trailer for it. And it's way more like jumpy and flowy and fast combat than Kratos, which is more like deliberate and whatever. And I guess there's at no point do you ever get a dedicated jump button for Kratos in the newer God of War games. And the first thing that you see Faye do in this trailer is double jump, which is just a hilarious hilarious thing. You never see somebody double jump right off the bat, but nope, just straight up that's something she does right from the beginning. So yeah, game looks gorgeous, seems interesting. I really like the characters that they're kind of like, the world and setting that they're spinning off from, and it just looked to me like if you were a fan of the combat from the old games, then there was probably stuff you were going to like here. If you were a fan of the story from the newer games, then there was a lot that you were going to like here. And if the reason you like the old games is you just wanted Too Angry to Die from your main character, then this is still probably not the game for you. Again, matter of taste. Boy, howdy, has the vitriol on the internet not exactly lined up with my take there. Like, I saw the trailer, I was all like, oh, I think there will be a lot of people that are going to enjoy this and a lot of people that are just not going to care. And that's fine, because that's kind of how games are. Wow, there's some angry people online. I
have heard.
I don't even... Oh, gosh, so much anger. So, listener, I'm not even going to really get into where the anger is coming from, because I think for a lot of them, it's coming from like an Oedipus complex, like repressed mommy issues is where it's coming from. I don't know what's going on in those people's brains, but therapy, listener,
Therapy.
for everyone, therapy for everyone. Anyways, game looks like it's going to be good. If you like the newer God of War games, I think there's probably a good chance you're going to enjoy this. If you were missing the kind of faster paced combat from the older God of War games in the newer God of War games, watch the trailer. See if this kind of lines up more with what you wanted out of your God of War. And if you don't think it does, then no harm, no foul, whatever. But wow, the rest of you, just calm down. I suspect none of you have even played an actual God of War game. So many people that were so up in arms. I'm just like, you hadn't even heard of the series until this trailer was released, and you went and read the Wikipedia article. Get a grip.
I never played a God of War game. I know of them. I respect them, but listener, I never got a PlayStation after the PlayStation 2. Yeah, and even then, that was like I played Final Fantasy here and there, and other things just kind of took over. So I just never played God of War. So I just feel like I don't have a say, but it looked cool.
Yeah,
like it looked cool. Like, so I have no say. Like,
yeah, I got no horse in this race. You know, I think the new games look like I would enjoy them more than the old games. But I have played a bit of one of them and didn't necessarily gel with the combat. So, I don't know. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe it is for me. But I'm not going to get mad at a big AAA, like, single-player experience that seems like a lot of love was given to it. And anyone who is, like, mouth-frothingly upset with this game, which is clearly just a spin-off of a God of War game. Like, I know it's not starring Kratos, but that's okay. Like, hey, are you aware of the Halo games? Like, some of the best Halo games didn't have Master Chief in them.
You're talking
like
about
ODST and Reach. Like, come on. These are like some of the best ones, and Master Chief isn't even there. So, yeah, I don't know. There's been a whole lot of vitriol. That's probably the highest profile moment from State of Play. What lies underneath it, listener, is that, hey, there's a God of War spinoff game coming that looks pretty good. If you like the new God of War games, you'll probably enjoy this.
Mhm.
Cool. All right. Next one, Wolverine. We all knew that this was going to be a mature rated game. Like, there was no way they were making a game about Wolverine and having that be like a PG-13 experience, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's Wolverine, you know? Like, even, good grief, X-Men 2 back in the day, right? That almost got rated R because of Wolverine, you know? If you're showing this dude fighting the way, like, comic accurate Wolverine fighting, it's
Mature.
gory as heck, right? It's gory as snot and just not chill at all. They had a gameplay trailer for the Marvel Wolverine game that's coming out. Yes, it is very mature. Lots
It looked
of
really
gore,
cool.
It looked like so much fun.
It looked really cool.
I was like, if you're looking for, if you're familiar with the character of Wolverine and you hear a video game about Wolverine, like where Wolverine is the player character, and you're looking for the kind of high octane, fast paced action that premise promises, then it looks like they're delivering exactly that. It's nuts. And I really appreciate that that they didn't really show a death, right? Like, I don't know what happens when you quote unquote fully run out of health in this game, because Wolverine is functionally immortal, you know? Like, not technically, I suppose you can like suffocate him and stuff like that, but functionally it's pretty hard to kill the dude. And so they kind of had a moment in it where they're all like, hey, he's been beat really bad by this dude with like laser arms or whatever it was. I can't really remember. But instead of like having him die and doing a restart or something like that, the player had to hold a button to essentially like just get him out of danger for a minute so that he could just sit there and like go and heal.
Yeah.
And you just like watched all of his skin grow back and that kind of thing. And then he pops back up and goes into a rage and stabs like 30 dudes.
Pretty cool, actually.
Looked like a lot of fun. I was like, okay. And nice thing about this is I do expect this one to be available on platforms other than PlayStation eventually. Like, I believe it's probably going to be an exclusive at the beginning, but I'm hopeful. I'm like fairly confident this will eventually make its way to other platforms. And I really want to play this one. Looks like a lot of fun. If the story is even like halfway decent, the combat makes it look like it's worth it for any kind of story. It could be really basic. It could be super simple. This trailer did show us that Jean Grey is in it, at least.
That's true.
So, you know, that's cool.
Too.
Yeah. Well, and what was wild to me was that, you know, Jean Grey, member of the X-Men, generally speaking, a little bit more PG-13 than Wolverine himself. The X-Men trying not to kill people outright, if possible. But there's like a whole section in this trailer where Wolverine is teamed up with Jean, and she's like literally doing like volleyball sets for Wolverine to just like pincushion dudes to the ground with his claws.
Yep.
She's like essentially like picking guys up and throwing them into a wood chipper for all intents and purposes. She knows they're not coming out of that alive, but she's doing it anyways. That's an accessory to murder. So, you know, maybe interesting to see how the story treats some of these characters. But yes, the Wolverine game looks very fun. Is supposedly coming out this September. So, yeah, that one's pretty soon. Okay, next one I was really excited about, Control Resonant, which, listener, if you've played a Remedy game, then this is a Remedy game, and you know what that means, and you already know if you're going to like it or not.
Yep.
I will say the first Control I've played, I haven't finished that either. I need to finish some games, you know, at some point. But I played a good chunk of your first Control, and there's a lot to like about the action, but there's also some pain points. However, the setting and the story and the characters are all just like top tier. And that's kind of a trend with Remedy. Top tier characters, top tier setting. People really engage with them. They latch onto them. They love them. And then the action and gameplay can get a little tedious. Sometimes it's kind of obtuse. Sometimes there's lots of bugs and it doesn't work very well. I fully expect Control Resonant to be that, right? Like, it's going to be a great setting. It's going to be great characters. You're playing as Jesse's brother this time, it looks like, instead of as Jesse. That kind of thing. Looks like it'll be a lot of fun, but plan on there being some bugs, plan on the action potentially being a little bit boring and tedious at times. And it's a Remedy game. You know what to expect.
Yep.
There will probably be like live action moments of Sam Lake sprinkled in there somewhere, and there may even be like a full on rock ballad by that one Norwegian rock band that was in Alan Wake 2. I can't remember. You never know what Remedy is going to throw at you. So we'll see, but I'd love the first Control. If you like Remedy games, you'll probably like this. And this is also coming this September. So pretty soon.
True.
Okay. Last one that I wanted to talk about for State of Play. This was I know for a fact I'm going to get to play Control Resonant. Remedy does not really do console exclusive stuff. Maybe a timed exclusive, but eventually that'll be on PC. Wolverine, I'm hopeful, will be on PC. Is pretty likely. God of War, man, it's they've been releasing it to Steam, a lot of this stuff, but they may stop doing that now that Xbox says they're going to stop doing that. So thanks, Asha Sharma, you made it so much worse.
Hey, wait. No, PlayStation said they were doing that first before Asha showed.
No, they didn't.
They did. They said they're going to
doesn't commit to anything ever.
Oh, come on.
Anyways, this last one, I'm like, this one could go either way, because this is okay, yeah, PlayStation franchise, heck yeah, but also technically third-party game. Technically, a lot of them have been, all of them have been released on other platforms at this point. But Tomb Raider, Legacy of Atlantis, this is not a straight remake of the first Tomb Raider game. It is a quote-unquote reimagining of the first Tomb Raider game. Mm-hmm. So it's the same basic storyline of the first Tomb Raider, but fleshed out and made with modern sensibilities in mind and that kind of thing. So basically, you're expecting a ground-up rebuild of a game. This is top to bottom a new game, but it's going to be pulling the basic plot line and a lot of the design and character and style sensibilities from the first game. People, generally speaking, seem to resonate with this pretty well, but I did see some people, I did not cross-check, but probably the same people that were whining about the God of War announcement, who were talking about how Lara's character model didn't look right. I suspect because she didn't have the proportions of early 2000s Angelina Jolie. Okay. Whatever. We could just ignore those people. But Tomb Raider, Legacy of Atlantis, if you're a fan of the Tomb Raider franchise, obviously pay attention to it. It is being developed by Crystal Dynamics, and they have done some great work with Tomb Raider in the past. Some stuff I really enjoyed. And it looks like Eidos Montreal has nothing to do with it, which means hopefully it'll be better than Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That's all I ask. February for that one. That one should be coming out in February, which is also pretty soon. So there were a few other games that they talked about, but those were kind of the four standouts. And obviously the most talked about one was God of War. We went over why that's ridiculous. I guess maybe not ridiculous it was the most talked about one, but ridiculous that why it's the most talked about one. Why are we not talking about it? Because it looks like a fun game. Because it does look like a fun game. And if they really do go back to not, releasing their games on Steam, then I'm going to be very sad about that, because I kind of want to play this, and I'm not buying a PS5, guys. That's just not happening.
Yeah. I have to
So-
say, my top one was Wolverine, just because that looks dope.
Looks so cool.
Like I said, I don't have a
Yeah.
race in the thing for God of War, so I was like, oh, cool, another God of War for whoever likes it on there. And then, yeah, Tomb Raider, I was like, ooh, that looks pretty cool. So
It does.
I agree with you. There were a couple
Yep.
others that were on there, listener. Take a look at it. There's plenty of other games that are on there. Obviously, like, if you're looking for, like, Rayman Legends, there you go. That's on there.
Gosh, yeah, that was so weird.
I know. All right. Landon, do you have anything to say about the Sony State of Play? I couldn't say it without laughing.
You know, while you guys have been talking, you probably didn't notice this. I was just sitting on my phone, just like,
Oh, I noticed. I did. I noticed. I was watching.
I mean, I was listening, but I'm like, I have nothing to contribute to this. So I,
You know what? You surprise us sometimes, okay? So that once in a while you're like, hey, I actually have something to say. So here I am trying to be a good host, okay? Okay. Let's move on to the next showcase. We're going to do the Summer Games Fest with Mr. Jeff Keighley.
Yes, Jeff Keighley and friends. Who was the biggest celebrity on this one? Trying to think. Probably Snoop Dogg.
Probably Snoop, yeah.
Yeah.
okay, now I want to go watch this. Now you've piqued my interest.
There was one
Because-
presenter. It's not that
because-
big of a deal.
It was
I'm going
that
to
big of a
say,
deal.
everything that I've watched that has added Snoop Dogg into it has been made better because of Snoop Dogg.
I think one of
Yeah.
the funniest questions that was asked to Snoop Dogg, okay, listener, was he was coming out to say, hey, they made a game studio. I can't remember what he called it. What was it? Bad Dog Games or something?
Oh yeah, I can't even remember. Something like that.
Anyway, so what was funny is when Jeff asked him, oh, what you guys thinking of anything? He's like, yeah, we have ideas. We're going to iterate on them. like sweet.
Obviously not realizing that Snoop Dogg is the money behind it. He's not going to be involved.
Exactly.
Snoop is not the creative vision for this.
So I thought it was kind of funny. He like says absolutely nothing, but it's just,
yeah.
Anyway,
That's
let's
amazing.
get into this. You go ahead. Start.
Good times. All right. Summer Game Fest, being the Jeff Keighley and Friends show, has way more stuff in it than any of us wanted to know. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that. It's just a trend with anything that Jeff Keighley does. I just don't care about like 75% of everything in there. But there was some good stuff. So, first off, the next installment in the Final Fantasy VII remake. Okay? Which I remember when they first announced the Final Fantasy VII remake and called it the Final Fantasy VII remake, and we were all like, oh yes, a remake of Final Fantasy VII. And then we got to the end of that game and realized this is like the first quarter of the storyline. What the actual F is going on here, Square Enix? And they were all like, oh yeah, there's going to be 4 of them. What? Like, they could
wanted
not
to
have
really tell the story.
This is such a classic case of hobbiting that oh my head.
Hobbiting.
Anyways, so the third one, Final Fantasy VII Revelation, which picks up where Final Fantasy VII Rebirth left us off, which is the bit of Final Fantasy VII that everyone remembers, which, spoiler alert, listener, for a game that is actually almost as old as some of us on this podcast. When did that come out? It was like 95 or something like that.
5 or 7. 5 or 9.
5 or 7, might have been 97. Anyways, it's like a 30-year-old game, guys, okay? But Aerith dies. Oh no. Sephiroth kills her. Had you missed that at some point? Anyways, so that's where the last game left off, which, if you've played the original game, you might be aware is about the middle. Like, that's the middle of the game. So, part 3, after 2, good grief, charitably, almost 20-hour RPGs, and that's like a fast playthrough.
Mm-hmm.
after 40 hours of speed running these games, essentially, Final Fantasy VII Revelation is going to pick us up at the middle point of the Final Fantasy VII storyline. It's coming out this spring. If you have the patience for this kind of thing, then go for it. I will say personally, the way that they've been doing this has essentially guaranteed Square Enix that if I ever buy a new Final Fantasy game, it is going to be just the 4 Final Fantasy VII Remake games. And I will play those and nothing else that you ever make in the franchise ever again. So, good job. I don't know if there's a lot of people that think like me, but that's my position on it, at least.
Fair. I'm excited for it. I started playing the first one, and other games came out life, and now I see this, and I'm like, oh man, because
you gotta get in there.
I waited for it to come onto Xbox, so yes, first one came out years ago. I waited for it, yes, but I gotta get in there. I gotta just play it and do it. But man, I did see the trailer. The trailer looks dope. It did bring up the feels. I was like, I remember all this stuff.
Yep. And like, to be totally clear, the games are gorgeous. Like the remake and rebirth, and actually new console generation happened and they remade the remake or remastered the remake for the new console generation, kind of bring it up graphically. And they're really pretty games to look at, and I've not played them, but the kind of the switch that they've made from the purely turn-based tactical combat to like more of a hack and slash with elements of turn-based tactics in it, I like that change. So I may actually play these at some point, but I'm waiting until they're all out and I can buy them in a bundle. Like no, Square Enix, I am not buying 4 games. This is ridiculous. Like I said, I didn't even go see the 3rd Hobbit movie in theaters because I was so pissed off at how they had done that. And this is giving me the same kind of vibes. This is the same anger.
What you really ought to do is save some money by just going and finding an original PlayStation, maybe a PlayStation 2, get the original game, and just play that. Same story.
Here's the thing. I have tried to play Final Fantasy VII, like the original version, probably a half dozen times at least. And I get a couple of hours in, and I just realize I hate this combat so much. And the game is 90% combat. Like you're doing these turn-based tactical combat scenarios over and over and over again. And I was like, I can't stand it. I hate this. It's too many button presses to get through like 5 seconds. It's like everything that would make Pokemon super frustrating if the battles lasted any longer than they typically do. Like in Pokemon, battles last a couple of rounds and then it's over. Okay. But it's just that same thing, but so much worse with the Final Fantasy games from back then. I can't do it. I can't.
I can't. I'm not there with you. If you look at actually one of the in my Steam library, that's one game I've actually completed with Final Fantasy VII. You actually looked at my PlayStation profile way back in the day. Final Fantasy VII got all trophies. And now if you look at on the Xbox, the original one I'm talking, the original. Yeah, I don't know what it is about that game. I can play the crap out of that game. So I'm totally.
You are the target customer for these games.
I know.
It's not.
I have a brother that's so mad at me right now because I haven't played it because he's played them and wants to talk to me about them. He's like, "There's some subtle changes and things," and I'm like, "Can't tell me. Don't tell me. I'll figure it out. I'll get there.
I'm gonna get there."
No spoilers on a 30-year-old game. Oh.
Yep. So he sends text messages like, "Hey, the 3rd one's coming."
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's funny. Well, right. You've got until this spring to finish the first one. So there you go. That's your assignment.
That's my assignment. Okay, I'll do it and report.
All right. the rest of the games that I have from the Summer Game Fest were not like the, oh yeah, big tent poles, whatever, here's a new whatever and this and that. And from the makers of Call of Duty, here's another basically just Call of Duty again and that kind of thing.
There was
kind of a lot of that. But no, these were the games that surprised me. This is the stuff I was not expecting to see in this, and that's the stuff that's most interesting. So this winter of 2026, The Wolf Among Us 2. Now, listener, if you're not familiar with The Wolf Among Us, this video game, this is a sequel to it. There was a Wolf Among Us game made based on a graphic novel, I think. It was a Telltale Studio games. And Telltale Games, the Telltale Games studio, did, like The Walking Dead and stuff like that. The games that they did were essentially just visual novels where the quote-unquote gameplay was you just making choices as a player character, right? But, which sounds kind of like, well, that's boring. But unlike most games that say your choices have meaning and consequence, Telltale meant it.
Yep.
They said that. Like, there were hundreds of possible ways your game could legitimately end. And they had kind of discrete, important feeling, meaningful endings for all of those possibilities. So, your experience in the game was always going to be very different from anybody else playing it in, a whole bunch of very subtle, intricate ways. And that's kind of cool. That was Telltale's entire thing, was just these super well put together visual novels that you got to feel like you were participating in the creation of it, which is not mass market in a huge way, but it's a vibe. And for sure they hit a market and it totally worked. And they made a multi-part Strong Bad game that kind of worked along those same lines, which is just rad. So I don't know. Telltale, they were great. I said were because they kind of had major money embezzlement issues at the executive level and went bankrupt and closed a few years back, which was very sad for everyone. They've been reformed. They still hold all of the IP for the games that they were making before. And so they're putting out a sequel to The Wolf Among Us. Okay.
Deal.
Yeah, I'm down. I suppose that some of the IP has probably lapsed on stuff like The Walking Dead and
I think they did Borderlands.
Yes, the pre-sequel was, or wait, pre-sequel was no,
the Tales of the Borderlands.
Tales from the Borderlands. That was it. So yeah, they've done a bunch of stuff like that, and if they can renegotiate and hang on to some of those, but Wolf Among Us, I think, was uniquely positioned because I believe they had just straight up, because like I said, I think it was a graphic novel, and they had just purchased the rights to make video games based on this graphic novel, and whoever from the company held the rights when the company went bankrupt, I guess still has them, and so they were able to reform the company and keep going. So we'll see if this turns out to be, as good as traditional Telltale, but kind of fun that happened.
Yeah, that's cool to see. I think this was one of their bigger ones too. The Wolf Among Us was a bigger.
Yeah, no, it was very widely well received.
Yeah,
for all the same reasons as the other Telltale games, great characters, great story, meaningful choices, feels like a well-realized world, all that stuff. And then the people that complained about it were all complaining about it. This is basically just watching a movie with some button presses in it. And it's
Yep.
Yes,
yes.
that is what it is.
Yes.
But they do a good job of it. So, anyways. Next. Yeah. Oh man, this next one. Among Us. There's a new Among Us game. It's called Among Us Story On Guard.
Yeah.
There's also an animated TV show.
Yep.
I don't know what is happening with the Among Us franchise.
Yeah.
Now?
It is a franchise now, yep.
I guess.
They're trying to be Angry Birds.
You're not wrong.
I guess. Oh, gosh. Yep. if Illumination announces a new Among Us movie, I would not be surprised, actually. So yes, there's a story-based Among Us game coming. It's called On Guard, in which you play as a guard for some kind of a simulation of space travel, and then a murder happens, and everything falls apart. And yeah, this is a really interesting take. But I do kind of appreciate that they didn't just go and announce Among Us 2, except this time it's live service and free to play and worse in every possible way. And by the way, you can't play Among Us 1 anymore. And oh wait, I'm thinking of Overwatch. So it definitely could have been handled worse.
Thinking Angry Birds.
It's actually Plants vs. Zombies, man. That one, never gonna get over that.
Yeah.
So yeah, at least they didn't do that. This is a completely different genre of game. It's not like even an online multiplayer game. It's a single player game. Just single player Among Us. Weird. Okay. Yeah. So that was an odd one.
Yeah, fair.
I don't really have anything else to say about it. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Okay. So from weird sequels, and unexpected sequels to unexpected but also very exciting sequels, Alien Isolation 2 was announced with an extremely atmospheric trailer that is on a planet as opposed to in a space station, which makes me feel like the vibe they may be going for is more Aliens than Alien, which I would not be opposed to, just so long as they don't do an Aliens Colonial Marines thing with it and make it suck. But if they follow in the footsteps of the original Alien Isolation and then just kind of also make it a little bit more like Aliens, I'd be down with that. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of ground to tread in the Alien like universe mythos with making games that are horror games but also action games. The first one was just straight horror, basically, which is what the first movie was. You know, it was kind of sci-fi cosmic horror stuff. And then the second one was kind of like horror action. You know, there's still horror elements to it, but also like you can kill the xenomorphs with guns, and you have a lot of guns, but there's just a lot of xenomorphs. So It changes the dynamic a little bit. And I don't know if that's the direction they're going to go with this. The trailer was not clear on that. But honestly, even if it's just Alien Isolation, but in a different environment, so long as they do it as well as they did the first one, that's going to be an incredible, incredible horror game experience. And I'm not going to play it. I just, nope. Do not play games like that. I've not played the first one, but I have watched some people play the first one, and that's hilarious. Great entertainment. So I love that Alien Isolation 2 is happening, because that means that at some point in time, I'm going to get to go and watch a Halo Stream episode on Outside Xbox or something like that of somebody playing Alien Isolation 2 and crapping their pants as the xenomorph drops out of a vent or something like that. And that's great. I love that. That's my vibe. So
it's a good one. It is. I didn't complete the first one. I did play through to a certain point. Like I said, other games will come up, but no, I remember there was a couple times that game got me. Be going around and you just turn around and you're like, there's an alien. Like, oh hi. I was making noise.
Right there. My favorite, and like honestly the most glorious thing in that game is that they didn't just go jump scares, right?
Yes.
Like a lot of modern horror games, like the temptation is to just jump scare after jump scare after jump scare. There's like definitely moments of jump scare in Alien Isolation, but they give you the stupid little tracker thing from Aliens, from the movie Aliens, beep, right? Like where you can track the position of the of anything technically, but you're using it to track the xenomorph around you, which gives you just enough information to really freak yourself out.
100%.
Like
And when
Like,
he gets
yes,
closer, the beep goes faster.
yes, and it can hear the beep. So if you're using the tracker, it has a better chance of finding you, even if you're hiding somewhere. And so it's like, it's that perfect balance of like giving you just enough information to feel like you have some control in the situation, but it's not enough information for you to actually have control of the situation. And so it gives you some confidence, but then also immediately piles all kinds of dread on top of that.
Mhm.
Such an effective way to do that, meaning that most of the time when people die at playing Alien Isolation, it's not because they were jump scared. It's because they just screwed up. And like they knew that they were screwing up and started panicking, and their panicking made it worse. And it cascades into you getting got by a xenomorph. And like, wow, that's way better at getting people scared than just jump scaring them constantly.
Right.
Like, it's because that kind of thing, I don't know. It's so easy to lose tension in moments like that. It's the difference between like, oh no, here's a bomb, you have to get rid of it or everybody's going to die. And that scene in the Adam West Batman movie where he has a bomb and is trying to get rid of it or everyone's going to die. But he's like running to a window and there's like a cluster of nuns standing outside of that. And he runs to a different window and there's like a brass band marching down the street. So he can't throw it that way. He runs over to like the edge of a dock and there's like a family of ducks and ducklings just sitting in the water right there. And then he turns and winks at the camera and goes, some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. And that's how so many horror games feel to me these days, is just like, you're relying too much on the like, oh, I told you this is a threat, so therefore you must be scared, as opposed to actually making me feel scared, right?
Yeah. That was a great analogy, by the way.
Anyways.
Great analogy. Love it.
So yes, I'm excited for Alien Isolation 2, not because I'm going to play it, but
for others to play.
Because other people will. All right, last one from Summer Games Fest. A Cuphead sequel.
Ooh.
Yep.
Not a whole lot of information on this one, but frankly, same reason as Alien Isolation 2. I've not played the original Cuphead. That is not my jam. Like,
even I've
hard as
played
nails.
the original Cuphead.
Exactly.
Now,
like,
granted,
hard
it
as
was
nails
Wes.
games.
It was Wes bringing his Surface over to my house and like, here, you got to play this. And I played it, and I did absolutely horrible at it, but it was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and like the creative vision and commitment of Cuphead is just like so good.
Yeah.
Nobody has done that style as well as them. Like Mouse PI, whatever, just came out, is trying to do the whole like 1920s, 1930s animation style. And it's pretty cool. Like, it's fun to look at. It's stylish. It's neat, but it's not Cuphead. It's not that good, right? Like, it's just not even a comparison. But hard as nails games, I don't jive with them. Give me an easy difficulty setting or I'm out.
Yeah.
And I know I'm a hardcore gamer.
You're such a gamer.
At least I'm honest. But also platformers. I'm just not a huge fan of platformers in general. There's very few that I've ever actually played all the way through. So a hard as nails platformer, nah, man. I'm out at the ground floor. I never even got on the elevator. So I've not played the original Cuphead. But like I said, massive respect for that game and what they accomplished with it.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy watching people play Cuphead because I just like looking at Cuphead. It's so pretty.
It's a beautiful game.
Oh, so yeah, Cuphead sequel. Heck yes. Bring on more of that. I am here for it.
That's the only other one you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, those are the ones. It was just some surprising ones mostly. And also, yeah, Final Fantasy VII is still doing that thing.
And I'd have to say there's one more that I am excited for, and I'm just a sucker for this genre. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin. I'm excited.
I wondered if you might want to bring that one up.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for turtles. I always have been. I grew up in that era and had them all. So yes. And yes, I know which turtle that is. So, yep.
Listen, nostalgia is a powerful motivator. I get that.
It's true. I mean, look at Alien Isolation. We just talked about it for however long.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and let's move on. We're going to move on to the Xbox Showcase. Dude. Gears of War. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay. Listener, you've heard me talk about it. I've read the books. I played all the games. And I've gotten where my family plays this. We love playing Horde mode together. And they're now doing a 12-player Horde mode. Oh my gosh. Amazing. I'm so excited. So before, Horde mode is you take on waves and waves of enemies, but there was only, you'd have up to 5 people. Yep. First it was 4, then they got to 5, now it's 12. Amazing.
Do you even know 12 people, Wes? Is that?
I know 12 people that I have been able to play Gears of War throughout the whole franchise through the years, and I'm gonna send out the message, the call. It's time. It's time.
If you're counting me in this list, then you don't know 12 people that are...
Oh, I do. I'm gonna invite you too. I would love for you to come and join us. Come on.
I'd have to buy it. I don't buy games. That's not
true. You don't
actually.
buy games.
Wait, would buying it even work? I don't.
Well, you wouldn't, because this is actually a Xbox exclusive.
Yeah.
So they're not going to put
I was
it on
going to say,
Steam.
Some of them I can, but only if they release it on Battle.net. So
I wonder if they would.
I don't
Weird.
think they were
that
doing
would
that
be
one on
weird.
Battle.net.
I mean, they started putting other games on there.
They did, but most of the ones that they announced that were going to be on Battle.net, they specifically said this is going to also be on Battle.net.
Yep, you did. Yep, fair.
So I don't think they said for that one. So
the listener, yes, Gears of War. I'm stoked. Franchise, I'm all for. I'm ready for this, and to go back to just when E-Day happened. Love it. Looks good. I mean, there was a couple. What's also kind of cool, and I caught this just because I read the books. They showed off one of the parts of the story of how they actually created the Lancer. That was a story in the book of how they actually created it. What happened to be like, hey, we need to put this chainsaw and this gun together. How it happened. That's how it happened. So I'm watching it going, oh, wait, is this how they do it? This is, So totally got me. Hook, line, sinker. Wes is going to play this one on October 1st. So gonna happen. So really good. They even did they opened up with it like a quick little thing, and then obviously they ended it at the very end. They did a bigger, more deep dive into the multiplayer, the maps, all that stuff. So it's really cool. It still is amazing to me how much effort people put into even just the sound and stuff, because they were going off. Even it reminded me of when I watched the whole Doom, when they the Doom 2016, how they're like, this is how we made the sounds for things blowing up. They literally took slabs of meat and would slap them and whatever else they would do just to get certain sounds, and that's what they were showing in Gears for certain stuff. I'm like, I would love to be a sound dude. To be like, here, we need this explosion to sound muffled. Okay, let's figure this out. Just record these sounds.
You should go on YouTube. This is a video that came out just a couple of weeks ago that I thought was really funny. The Rob Scallon YouTube channel, their most recent video was of them visiting a Foley studio and just doing the sound recording for a goofy short film that they had made where he breaks his leg. So they're talking, breaking bones and all the sounds associated with stuff. It was really funny to see some of the ways they were making these noises.
It's cool.
It's just
so
check it out.
I will. I just wrote it.
If you thought that was fun, you should check that out. And then every sound in every movie and every video game, listener, that you have ever listened to was somebody in a room looking at a TV with just a bunch of random crap on shelves walking around going, yeah, that might work. Let's try that. Yep. Wrapping some celery stalks in leather and going right next to a microphone and thinking, okay, yeah, that's a good bone breaking sound. Sure, why not?
Yep. It was interesting. So I like that background stuff like that. So they did show some of that. All right, next one I do want to talk about Let's Halo Campaign Evolved. I've always enjoyed Halo. I think it's cool that they're bringing this forward in the Unreal Engine, and we're going to get a couple free missions. Play through it with some friends, family. It'll be fun.
Listen, the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to with this is an entirely new generation of gamers getting to experience the Flood for the first time.
True. Dude, the
Because,
Flood.
like, man, that was a formative moment in my gaming life as a young person.
When they just showed up.
That first time, like, playing through, because you get a good chunk of the way into the game, and you're like, okay, I understand what this game is. I know what I'm doing here. And then you, like, descend down into that one mine and, like, watch the little video clips and stuff like that. You're like, the heck is going on? And then Flood.
Oh,
and
but
you
that's
are
also you
suddenly
get the shotgun.
just yes.
Here's the shotgun. Have fun.
Yep. And you're just suddenly not having a good time anymore. Like, it's like, oh, okay.
Yep. It's gonna be fun. That one, I'm excited. That's gonna be fun. I believe they did say that one is going to PlayStation as well. So
yes, yeah, that one's gonna be everywhere. I already have it wishlisted on Steam. Like, this is the one game they talked about. I was like, heck yes.
Hey, that means you and I can play that one.
I am here for it.
Sweet. All right, next one, Fable. I'm excited for it. If I had a critique, though, I'm excited for Fable, and it's interesting the things that they said in the last trailer versus this trailer. The last trailer, they were like, hey, your decisions really aren't going to mess. We don't really see decisions as good or bad. Not going to really mess with anything. This trailer, they're like, your decisions matter. And I'm like,
I
okay.
mean, last time they were kind of being like, hey, the morality system, which, you know, was a fundamental part of the Fable games, is like, it's more amorphous. It's more like, whatever, but like, it's there, but it's I think that it was the messaging that changed. I think that people were disappointed with the, like, no, the morality system this is like a big part of the experience. And they were kind of trying to say that it's a part of the experience, but it's not going to be so cut and dry. It's not going to be like just black and white, like this is going to make you grow horns and this is going to make you have a halo kind of thing. They were trying to be like, it's a little bit more gray area and a little, like, it'll be better with some people and worse for others and yada yada. And then I think they're just trying to fix their messaging to get the fans less pissed.
I will say this one actually, I really enjoyed this trailer, and I think it's kind of a cool. The premise I got is there's multiple quote unquote heroes, and you just. I guess there's going to be one hero that's going to be, I guess she's the villain, but she's going to be the hero.
Yeah, well, was a hero
in one of the I can't
the
remember
hero,
yeah,
or something, like in a canonical previous Fable moment, but it was a little bit unclear. However, played by Haley Atwell, so that's cool.
Yeah,
it's not cool enough to get me to play a Fable game, but Haley Atwell's cool.
I enjoyed Fable though. I'm excited for it. If you, and just like Fable style, if you pre-order this, you will get a chicken suit. Just like every other Fable you pre-ordered before, you would get a chicken suit that will
beautiful.
Yep. So as is tradition, right? Next one I want to talk about, State of Decay 3. I've really enjoyed State of Decay. I'm excited that they're still making State of Decay 3. Like, that was one when they were chopping games left and right. I'm like, is this one going to go? No, they're going forward with it. I wish there was more to the gameplay. I wish I saw more, not just the same thing we've seen before in other games. If that makes sense when you see the trailer, if you like it. I wanted more to be like, okay, what systems do we have? What more? But all right, it's coming. So I'm excited for that one. Take a look at that. Doom: The Dark Ages is getting a pretty big DLC, which means I got to complete Doom: The Dark Ages before I get
I still haven't finished the 2016 Doom. So,
Oh, come on. You got to get to that one. Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I will get to it, I will finish it, and then I will go back and play it again. Because the thing I love about that game is that they grasped the reason I came into this was not for like
story.
A storyline. It's not like the Doomslayer in that game mirrors my own like vibes with the franchise perfectly. In the moment where like a dude on the radio is like starting to drop a bunch of lore and he just punches like the radio and crushes it so that he can open a door. I'm like, this is me. He speaks for me.
Let me kill the
I
demons.
love this.
Yes. Yep. So Doom the Dark Ages, that's coming. One that surprised me, it was Senua.
No, yeah.
I didn't think that was getting so there was, oh gosh, what were the first two? Second one
Senua
that came
Sacrifice is
Senua
the first one.
And then Senua's Senua 2, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Senua's, I can't remember. But yeah, it was called Hellblade. They apparently decided to stop calling it Hellblade, which is okay, sure.
Yep.
Why?
And then that. So the reason I call this my biggest surprise because I didn't think the second one did a lot. No, not a lot. That's the wrong word. It wasn't as popular, so I didn't think it quote unquote warranted a sequel. I'm not saying it's a bad game.
I feel like the first one was incredible because it was A, short, and B, really effective at putting you into like kind of experiencing psychosis without having to actually have psychosis of any sort.
Right.
Which is a really impressive feat. And the second one, I played a little bit of it, and it seemed like they were kind of just trying to go for that, but with a little bit more, right? Like bigger storyline, bigger whatever, more game, more characters. And that's a recipe that seems weird. I feel like that was not going to work super well. This one, they seem to just be dropping all pretense of the first game of being like, this is about like putting you into the headspace of somebody with this severe mental illness, and is more about putting you into the headspace of, hey, hit people with sword. Yes. Because it's basically just a hack and slash RPG now. And I'm just like,
interesting.
Well, that's not why I liked the first game, but I mean, maybe it'll be good. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it was just interesting. That was a surprise for me, so I thought that was interesting. Next interesting one, the quote I got from my wife is like, that's so stupid, but I think I'm going to play it. It was a game called Join Us. It is a game where you create your own cult. And then you go and do it. So what she said, it's like as if you took Goat Simulator and State of Decay and mashed them together because you have to build your own community and create your own. There's 4 players you could have, but you build your own cult and you go do these wacky little missions, and all of a sudden it shows like all of a sudden Cthulhu. You can summon Cthulhu with your cult and all these other monsters and like. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. That one I was just like, that was.
I feel like they missed a trick in not just calling it Cult Simulator.
Yeah, just join
us.
us.
We've already got Goat Simulator, just Cult Simulator.
Now combine those two.
Of course,
make a cult
you
of
say
goats.
that, but there actually is a game called Cult of the Lamb where you play as a lamb starting your own cult.
Yep.
So that one sort of is already
there you go.
True.
Those two mashed up.
I'll go ahead and move on to the next one. Another one that actually seems really interesting. If you saw this one, Caleb, Magicians, the Devil's Deal. Did you see that one?
I didn't actually watch the trailer for it.
No.
I read the name and just glossed over it.
It's quite interesting. Let me get this here, but basically, it's a narrative-driven first-person shooter where stage magic becomes real. You play as Jacob, a fallen illusionist bound by a pact with the devil and cast into hell, master deadly tricks, steal the powers of rival magicians, and escape the infernal world. It's like, kind of one of those that you're like, oh, this kind of is like, okay, whatever. But then as it played, I'm like, that is really interesting. So, yeah. Take a look at it, the trailer. Kind of one of those. So
I mean, if it plays as anything more than just like, oh, hey, here's our interesting premise, and then it's kind of just a bog standard Magic FPS, which I worry about that. That's sort of what it's.
No,
like,
take a
hey,
look at it.
We came up with an interesting premise, but we didn't have any interesting gameplay to put behind it.
It looked cool. It really did. It really
which
did.
does happen kind of a lot, unfortunately.
Oh, and then the next thing I like, just because I really like Castlevania games, they're coming out with Castlevania, Belmont's Curse. The creators of Dead Cells are the ones that are creating this Belmont's Curse, which looks kind of fun. So I'm a sucker for that.
Dead Cells is a solid game, so
yeah. So I'm excited for that one on there. So, and of course, my kids were really excited when Minecraft Dungeons 2 was announced, and so it's basically Diablo but Minecraft. So, which is pretty fun. So, those were the kind of the ones that I was excited about. I know there's so much more. Caleb, did you have any from here that you wanted to mess with?
That's the main stuff. I mean, there's that weird BioShock looking one.
Clockwork Revolution.
Yeah, that one. Nothing terribly, new or nothing about what they announced or showed there really added to my interest in the game, but it also didn't take away from it. I'm still very interested to see how that is on release,
That one you might not be able to play because that is also a console exclusive.
I think that one said it might be a Battle.net. I'm trying to remember.
Did it say Battle.net? I hope so for you.
So.
It did say console exclusive.
Yes.
But quote unquote.
All of them, they were all like console exclusive, but console exclusive also is like a 75% chance that it's on Xbox on PC.
Right.
Like that includes. So there's a PC port of it. It's just a question or not of whether they're going to be putting it in Battle.net, which would allow me to access it. If not, which is the case for E-Day and stuff like that, then I can't play it. But I'm hopeful on this one.
I'm hopeful for you too, because listener, we like calling all platforms. We want that to happen. So it's like this. This is why I like it when I can say, hey, I want to play this game with you, and it doesn't matter what type of machine you have, you can just play it.
Yep.
So
that's the point.
But yeah, so that's the listener. There was so much more, so many more games, and if we keep going, Landen's finally going to fall asleep.
Oh,
he's struggling right now.
Almost happened a few times already.
It's been a long day, listener.
There's been many games, listener, so many more that we hadn't talked about. Obviously, we're not the group for Call of Duty. There was Call of Duty there.
Nope.
Flight Simulator, like all that other stuff. Take a look at this. There's so many games coming out, even in the other things we talked, the other State of Play and Summer Games Fest we just didn't talk about. But these are the main ones we want to talk about, and it's exciting. It's kind of fun. Like, I don't know. I felt really excited for this. It was really funny because my son, he watched it with us, and he's like, Dad, I think I want to start playing Gears of War. And I'm like, I might. I'm
having that moment with the Halo game. I'm just sitting here like, is this my kid's first FPS? Because it was not my first FPS, but it was kind of my first like story-based FPS. Yeah. The stuff I'd played before that was like Doom, Wolfenstein 3D, Descent, games that are technically first-person shooters, but do not have stories, do not have settings, nothing like that. Yeah. Halo was the first like FPS story campaign that I played, which is why the Flood was so impactful. And I'm like, is that what I want to do to my children? Like,
although Halo would be a fun one.
I want to do that.
I think you ought to get them into those Doom and Wolfenstein and Unreal.
I mean,
and
maybe
those type
I
of
should,
games, from the 90s and.
Actually,
those
the
are
other day,
classics. They're great games.
Descent is still, I think, one of the best FPS games ever made. Flat out, just love that.
Good one. Well, listener, that's all we're going to talk about for the games and the showcase. I know, I believe there's, I can't remember who else, but some other companies will probably have more games. And if there's anything we want to talk about, we'll talk about it next week, but probably not likely because next week we do have that WWDC. But if there's something that just all of a sudden shows up, we'll talk about it. That we're like, hey, we should say something. So we will. But hey, if you actually want us to talk about something, you can get a hold of us. You can. callingonplatforms.com or over at our social media. So give that a try. All right. Let's go ahead and let's talk tech, shall we? Let's get into some Apple news.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and say it. All systems glow.
Yes, they do. All systems with screens glow. Apple just wanted you to know that. That's the end of the news. Now, as Wes said, WWDC is happening. Apple announced a couple of weeks ago they sent out the invites, which means they sent out the name for what the event was going to be called. They're calling it All Systems Glow, which is like, I complained about this last year. If you don't have a reason for the pun, then don't do it. Like, I know, Apple, you like your puns and your event names and stuff like that, but if you don't actually have a function for it, don't do it. If you do have a reason for this name, in that you took all of the user feedback to your most recent operating system updates and went, yes, the liquid glass fiasco, it needs to glow more. That's why people don't like it. More glowing. Yeah, and that's why you're picking this name. I can't wait for next week. It's just going to be 2 hours of me dumping on Apple because, wow, is that not what liquid glass needs?
Well, what it really is, because last year was its glow time.
Yeah.
And it's just the PR department is really, really hopeful that they'll finally make Siri worth having, because the glow that comes around your device when Siri is activated, that's what the glow is rumored to be about. But 2 years ago, they announced the good Siri. They haven't given it to us yet. Mm-hmm. So it's just the PR department that's really, really hopeful.
Oh, man.
But I'm not hopeful.
I think that somebody there has a dictionary, like a rhyming dictionary, and they're just doing puns for the sake of puns. And I don't think that Apple's marketing department, listen, Apple's marketing department has famously kind of always been hilariously disconnected from reality and the actual public perception of their products. That's how we got products named the Mighty Mouse for a mouse that, well, it did have a lot of functionality, was notoriously quite unreliable and broke fairly easily and was also an ergonomic nightmare. And then the follow-up to it, the Magic Mouse, which is worse in almost every conceivable way, though it doesn't break as easily. I will say that.
Yeah.
So that's Apple's whole vibe. So yeah, they have no idea what's actually happening out here in the real world. But yes, I've already put this down as a nominee for the worst announcement of the year, simply because of the name of this event. I don't have to see anything come out of this event. Just this name makes me kind of upset. So I'm already primed to have a great time tomorrow when I watch WWDC keynote.
Well,
that's the Apple news.
Well, if you want me to, I don't know if this is going to make it better, probably make it worse. But what's been in my head ever since I heard this All Systems Glow is the idea is, listener, you may not know this song the way that myself and Caleb do, but I've been very seriously toying with the idea of making a parody to the Aquabats song Super Rad, because they say All Systems Go quite a bit in that song.
They
and so
do.
I've had in my head All Systems Glow, and I haven't gone any farther than that, but I've been very seriously toying with the idea of making a parody to that song about All Systems Glow and how Apple and Siri and all that stuff is really bad. It's going to be Siri bad
soon
instead
the world
of Super
will
Rad.
know.
Yeah.
Something something the super bad.
Yeah.
It's super bad. There's connective material there that needs to be worked out, but that chorus could be amazing.
Yeah.
We'll see. Tomorrow afternoon, I will either be sitting down to write down my thoughts about what went well at this event and what I didn't like, or I will be sitting down to write the lyrics for the connective material in between those two thoughts in this song, because that will be what I present next week on the podcast is just this parody song. Now that you've put that idea in my head, it's going to go one of two ways. If the event is good, I'll have things to say about the event. If it's not good, I'm just going to sing a song, and that'll be the entire thing.
Yes.
Deal. That's amazing. Okay. Well, find out next week.
Tune in.
All right. Moving on to some Google news. Did Google just beat the iPhone 4 found in a bar for the best way a device gets leaked?
I think they may have. Because, I mean, yes,
Yeah.
the iPhone 4 being left at a bar in California was amazing.
So
It's
good.
been one of the most talked about ways that anything's been leaked ever. And it's always referred back to, including when talked about this new thing that happened with Google. So, listener, this past week, somebody put onto Twitter, the guy's name's Randy Pitchford, who is a CEO of Gearbox. Now, I don't know if
we know Randy.
Yeah.
Yep.
We know Randy.
So what his tweet said is, a friend of mine found this watch a few days ago underwater when he was scuba diving near the island of St. Martin. He noted that the reverse of the watch indicates that it is a Google Pixel 5. That's what he said, but it's Google Pixel Watch 5, which has not yet been announced, let alone release. So,
Did he say he wants to return it or something like that? Did he?
He's trying to find and apparently he has found the supposed owner, according to this multiple articles that I've read. Randy Pitchford found, he said his friend gave it to him because of his supposed connections with the tech world, but
Yeah.
So some Google person had a Pixel Watch 5 that, again, hasn't been announced, let alone released,
Mm-hmm.
and went scuba diving, lost it, and apparently thought, well, it's just gone. Nobody's going to find it, obviously. But apparently that's not the case. Somebody did find it and is trying to return it.
I hope in his QA report when he filled that out for his testing of that watch, he put watch band doesn't stay on super well in water.
I mean,
tendency to slip.
Yeah. Also, I mean, according to this tweet, the watch appears to be fine. Like, it looks fine. And he said the battery was just dead. Like, it had enough battery to let you know what time it was, but that was it. It wouldn't turn on any more than that.
Right.
And the guy didn't have a charger for it. And it's funny because you can see in the pictures, he's also taking a picture of it with an iPhone Air. So he isn't going to use it.
Yeah.
But it's
Wow.
Somebody scuba diving found the Pixel Watch 5.
I did see that.
Maybe I should take up scuba diving.
As long as you're
find interesting stuff.
As long as you're going around California, Bay Area,
That's true. Yeah, SoCal. That's where you'd have to be.
But I think this beats the iPhone found in a bar situation.
That's pretty good.
At least is the most interesting way that something has been leaked.
Right. Well, because of how much less likely it was to be found.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I don't blame the person that lost it. Be like, well, I'm not going to worry about trying to find it because in the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and like I said, that's useful information to take back to the QA team and just be like, guys, the band fell off while I was swimming. If we tell people they can use this while they're swimming and it falls off while they're swimming, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Wonder if they'll say anything once they announce the band, like, hey, and while swimming, it doesn't fall off.
It doesn't fall off.
I wonder if
we
they'll
fixed that.
I wonder if they'll do something.
I truly hope that they mention something in the announcement because
they
that would
better.
be awesome.
Come on. Yeah.
Did Steve Jobs say anything about that?
He did.
I thought
he
so.
did. Like when he pulled the thing out, he's all like, a lot of you have already seen this.
That's right.
And everybody just kind of chuckled.
That's right.
That's hilarious. All right. Next thing here. You can now make your own Fitbit Air band.
Yeah. So, okay, Wes, this was something that if you would have been here when we talked about this a couple weeks ago, the Fitbit Air, I think, is the right fitness band for you specifically because you had the Microsoft band, which was basically this, but just Microsoft's version.
Yeah, I did.
And I mean, now you've upgraded to it. You have a smartwatch, things like that, and that is nice because I mean, the Fitbit doesn't give you notifications or anything like that. It's just a fitness tracker. But when I first saw this, I'm like, I bet this is like 5 years too late. Wes would have bought this in a heartbeat 5 years ago.
I would have, yeah.
But anyways, so we talked about this a while ago, listener. The Fitbit Air has been announced. It's for sale. You can buy it. It's $100. Great deal. And all the reviews on it have been really good for what it is, for the price, especially when you're like comparing it to the Whoop that costs what $200, $300 and requires a $200 a year subscription, which is stupid. But the one thing that the Whoop had on top of the Fitbit Air was accessories, different bands, different clothing products you can put it into to make it work, and different things like that. But Google actually, is being the good guy here and has just released the blueprints and the CAD files for the Fitbit Air, so you can make you can 3D print your own band or something to go on it to use this now if you want. Or what's also going to happen is way more third-party accessory makers have access to these files as well, can make like legitimate accessories, like good accessories that will fit properly. Whereas, I mean, most companies, they'll buy one, they'll take the dimensions off the physical device, and it'll be more or less good enough. But having the actual blueprints, basically, from Google is going to make it so much easier and faster for these companies to make good accessories for the Fitbit Air. So it is now even more of a reason to buy the Fitbit Air over the Whoop because like cheaper, don't have to have a subscription, and there's going to be just as many accessories for it really soon, and you can make your own. So awesome. Thank you, Google, for doing something good for once in a long time.
Yeah. It's really nice, actually. Thank you. All right. Going to move on to some general tech news. Stand back, Samsung. We've got a new most expensive folding phone.
So, listener, we talked a while back about Samsung's tri-fold phone that's $3,000 and how ridiculously expensive that is for a phone. Well, this one company is like, yeah, hold my beer. We can do better than that. And this company has done this in the past, strangely enough. Listener, you may not have ever heard of this. I've heard of this company from years ago. It's called Vertu, Vertu. And this is what they do. They just make ridiculously expensive, dumb, technically a smartphone, but they're dumb phones that you should never buy. But they made a folding phone. And the starting price on this phone is $6,800.
Oh.
Now, you might be asking, well, what kind of specs does it have to make it worth that much money? It doesn't. There's no specs to make it worth that much money. Because it's just your typical, it's got an 8-inch display, like 8-inch screen on the inside, 120 hertz display, 6.53 inch on the outside. 50 megapixel main camera, 50 megapixel wide angle camera, 5 megapixel telephoto camera, a 6,500 milliamp hour battery. I mean, nothing horrible, but not $6,800 worth of specs, that's for sure. Also, it's got the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite. So, I mean, it's a recent chip. Kind of. It's 2025 flagship chip. Not even the newest one. I don't know. But the thing that makes it ridiculously expensive is the standard model comes covered in calfskin leather.
Yeah.
That's where your $600 to $800 price tag comes. Or there's two other versions that they've also mentioned. There's an alligator leather version for $8,800. Or, now this is where it gets really fun. You can get a custom model made with gold and encrusted with diamonds for $43,800. So the price of a decent car, you could also buy a phone. That's not going to be updated ever.
Yep.
But it folds.
But if you want gold and diamonds and alligator leather, you just have to pay. You have to buy it. You have to pay for it. It's expensive,
Every time I'm reminded that this company exists, I just feel sad about the state of humanity as a whole.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's that momentary, like, little twinge, like,
Yep.
Yikes. All right. Well, listener, we're going to go to the last section that we have of the podcast here. One of our favorite and newest sections, the bright side of life.
Welcome to the bright side of life. Hey! Hey!
I really, really like that. I always do. Every time I hear
I know. It's so much fun.
It is. I really enjoy it. Thank you for making that and putting it in. I always love it. So, listener, the bright side of life, our newest segment that we have, that we always try to end the podcast with something to look forward to, because for a while there, we always would be ending on tech news that just isn't that good. So, bright side of life.
Are you saying that a $43,000 phone isn't good news?
You want to talk about
I think that's
Microsoft
exactly
Build
what you
again?
just
I don't
said,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Anyway, well, Landon, you're first up. What is your bright side of life?
So, speaking of $43,000 phone not being good news, let's talk about a $600,000 car that's also not good news. So, strangely enough, listener, and Caleb questioned me before we started recording, and I just said, you'll have to wait. My bright side of life is the Ferrari Luce phone. No, I mean, it may as well be a phone. It's a car. Yeah. It's a Ferrari. It's their first electric vehicle that they've made, fully electric vehicle. And they used, this is basically what the Apple car would have been, probably, because Johnny Ive is the main designer. It's his company, Love From, is the company that designed the car, more or less.
Yep. And
I'm not going to say it's an ugly car, but it's also not a good-looking car.
It's an EV in the year 2026, which means that its focus is above all else on aerodynamics.
Yeah.
Which means it just kind of looks like a little blob rolling down the road.
Yeah. Which
not
is
bad, but not good.
Yeah. And it's funny because, like, when you think Ferrari, you don't necessarily think, oh, I need to have an efficient car. No, you don't. No, that's not why you buy a Ferrari. You buy a Ferrari for speed and the engine noise and, like,
you want it to be striking, right? Yeah. Like, Ferrari, not every Ferrari is gorgeous, but they are all striking.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you look at a Ferrari, you're like, oh, dang, that was either a fantastic thing that I just saw roll by, or my eyes have been assaulted, but, like, I'm never going to forget this moment.
Yeah. And, I mean, the Ferrari Luce kind of does that, not in the good way by any means. Like, it's not, I don't really understand this car. Like, you could have, there are perfectly good reasons for Ferrari to make an electric vehicle, but this was just not the way they should have done it. They could have made something that looked like a Ferrari, but also just happens to be powered by a battery. That's fine. This isn't that. But the reason why it's my bright side of life is because of all of the people talking about it and how much they hate it. It just brings a smile to my face.
It's wild that Ferrari has managed to unite the EV people and like the hardcore like gearheads, the naturally aspirated for life people, and the like all of that stuff. Everyone has come together in their mutual disgust and disregard for this car. It's crazy.
You know, one thing that it also has ensured will happen, or rather never happen again, is that nobody's going to hire Johnny Ive to design their car for them again. Which
probably true.
Is probably a good thing, in my opinion.
Yep. Dude should have stuck to designing physical designs for computer. Actually, no. He kind of sucked at that toward the end, too.
Yeah,
he should have retired. Dude should have retired. You know what? He should have gone to like designing single item high-end pieces of furniture to sell to the ultra wealthy, and that's it.
Yeah.
And just quit it there. It's like yes, the G4 iMac is, I still think, probably the best looking desktop computer ever made, but I think that's where Johnny Ive peaked, and that was in like 2004.
Well, the problem is like during that time he had Steve Jobs to tell him that his initial design was ugly and he needs to fix it. And then he came out with the good one after that. And then when Steve stopped doing that, rather when he stopped being day-to-day at Apple and then died, Johnny Ive was like, well, nobody can tell me what to do now, so I'm going to do it the way I want. And we got crap. That's how we get the touch bar.
We got the trash can, which looked great, didn't work. We got the MacBook Pro, which looked great, didn't work. Oh, man.
So, yeah, that's straight. Oddly enough, my bright side of life is the Ferrari Luce, or rather, it's the talking around
unity. It's the unity inspired by the Ferrari Luce. There you go.
There you go. All right. Well, Caleb, what's your bright side of life?
Yeah, listeners. So it was not that long ago. My bright side of life was the fact that there was a new music video that had dropped for a Year of Our Lord 2026 actual pants brand new Evanescence song that I really liked. This past week, the whole album dropped, and it's really good. If you like new metal from like the turn of the millennia, listen to it. It's classic Evanescence in all the best ways, and I've listened to it a few times now since it came out on the 5th. Love it. Real good.
I am definitely gonna have to check this out because I do like Evanescence. I haven't listened to a lot of them, but what I have listened to I do enjoy, so I'm gonna have to check it out for sure.
I just
fantastic.
Added it on my music there, so there. I just did.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, my turn on the bright side of life. I'd call it the E3 season, even though E3 is not here. I'm just going to call it the E3 season because that's what it was. That's when a lot of people announced their games, new technologies coming out, things like that. And it's just so fun. And so I just been enjoying hearing about the games and things. I've tried to stay out of anytime someone tries to say something bad, like for example, the God of War thing.
That was a good call.
I just stay out of it. I've just been enjoying it. Like I don't look at anything for, Gears of War. I'm sure people are going to be upset somehow for something I like. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to text the people. Listen, as many people as I have that play Gears of War with me, we almost have 12. Okay. So, just saying. I sent that to everybody. Once they said 12 player, I texted it to all. I'm like, 12 players, you say? So, yeah. I don't know. The season's just fun because it's just the celebration of games that are coming this next year. It's fun to see the new games coming out, sequels, new games, indie games, things that, like Caleb and I have said, the stuff that just caught us off guard. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. This will be fun to see. So,
no. It's a good lineup coming at us. It's good.
I think it's just fun this season. It's a lot, but it's just fun. It really is to see. So I just enjoy the season. I call it E3 because I'm that old, listener. E3, it's just what it is. I was thinking of like game season, but I'm like, no, I think E3 season just sums it up.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the episode, listener. Unless, Landon, you got one more thing for us? Yahoo! See, I don't like that one so much as the bright side of life. But hey,
boy, howdy.
I mean, I'm sorry. You give me some good sound bites. So.
I do. I really do.
Yes, I do have one more thing, and I actually debated on this being my bright side of life, but I'm like, I can also have this one as a one more thing because it's a great thing. Now, listener, you might be familiar with the game Wordle. It's been around for a while. New York Times now owns it. It's still fun. It's still the same game that it always was. It's great. It's fun. I play it on a fairly regular basis, not as much as I used to, but I still play it. I just discovered a new game, very similar to Wordle, kind of. So, okay. This game is called Poople.
Go on.
Yeah. As far as I know, there's not an app. It's just a website. It's called poople.io. And the point of this game is it gives you a 4-letter word. It gives you the word. And you have to go from that word to poop by only changing one letter at a time.
What? Poople.
And today's word is rips, R-I-P-S. And you have to go from that, change one letter at a time to try and get to poop as quickly as you can. And this was the first day that I play. I found out about it yesterday, and I started playing it today, and I'm going to continue to play it because it's just fun. So, yeah, that's my one more thing, is poople.io. So, enjoy, listener.
That is amazing. Wow. Poople. Way to end our podcast episode. That's you win. You win. You win. All right. Well, listener, enjoy your poople. That's it. Anyway, we appreciate you listening. If you want to get a hold of us, or if you wanted to have us talk about anything, or have Caleb make a video, you can actually get a hold of us on our social media platforms. You can also on our new website, callingallplatforms.com. Check out the YouTubes over there. There might be something new, maybe, I don't know, something new. Depends on what games come out, maybe. Let's see. If he finishes the game, who knows? All right, listener, have a good week.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Calling All Platforms is a production of Supporter Sound Studios. To learn more about how you can support the podcast, go to www.patreon.com/callingallplatforms.